Imagine stepping back into a world where elegance, wit, and history collide, a place we've missed dearly. Well, the wait is almost over. Michelle Dockery is calling Downton Abbey 3 a beautiful film and promises it will serve as a touching tribute to Maggie Smith. And honestly, we believe her. That's why today we're diving deep into everything this final chapter has in store. Let's begin. For anyone who hasn't heard yet, Downton Abbey 3 is the much-anticipated upcoming historical drama directed by Simon Curtis with a screenplay by Julian Fellowes. This film follows the storylines established in Downton Abbey and Downton Abbey, A New Era, making it the third installment in the beloved franchise. Fans will be thrilled to know that much of the original cast is returning, including Paul Giamatti and Dominic West, who will reprise their roles as Harold Levinson and Guy Dexter. New faces joining the ensemble include Jolie Richardson, Alessandro Nivola, Simon Russell Beale, and Rebecca Fran. Focus Features has set the release date for September 12, 2025. As excitement builds, fans are preparing for an emotional goodbye. According to Michelle Dockery, Downton Abbey 3 is intended to be a heartfelt tribute to Dame Maggie Smith's unforgettable portrayal of Violet Crawley, the Dowager Countess of Grantham. In an exclusive conversation with Collider's Steve Weintraub, Dockery, who was promoting her new role in Mel Gibson's thriller Flight Risk, reflected on returning to the set one last time. She spoke warmly about how the trilogy has been an unexpected gift to both the cast and the fans. Though Downton Abbey has always thrived as an ensemble story, Maggie Smith's Dowager Countess stood out as one of the most iconic characters, thanks to her sharp wit and perfectly timed put-downs. Dockery stressed that this final movie would serve as a sincere farewell to both Violet Crawley and to Smith's immense contribution to the series. "It's a beautiful film," Dockery said. "For us, it was such a treat to come back together again. It's a real tribute to Maggie Smith." The return of Paul Giamatti as Harold Levinson also adds an extra layer of excitement. Giamatti first appeared in Season 4 as Lady Mary's uncle. Dockery shared how joyful it was to work with him again, describing him as so much fun and recalling how naturally he fit back into the family dynamic on set. She expressed her eagerness to see the completed film, suggesting it holds something very special for longtime fans. When asked whether it was always the plan to conclude Downton Abbey with a trilogy, Dockery revealed that the idea had floated around from the start. "I think there was always an intention to do 3 films," she explained. However, she also admitted there was some uncertainty early on. Nevertheless, she reflected on how amazing it was to even make more than one film, saying the demand from fans made it all possible. For Dockery, the final day of filming was an emotional milestone, a bittersweet moment she will always cherish. Over the years, the cast has said goodbye many times, filming what they thought might be the last scene. But this time, Dockery said, it truly felt final. "We really relished every minute," she said. "It felt really, really special. Like anything that comes to an end, it's emotional, but it was also such a happy place to be. It always has been a wonderful thing to be part of for the last 15 years. Even though she acknowledged the possibility of a Christmas special, a beloved British TV tradition, Dockery hinted that this genuinely feels like the end of the Crawley family's journey. Downton Abbey has traversed a rich historical landscape, chronicling the lives of the Crawleys from 1912 to 1928. The original series began just after the sinking of the Titanic, and the films continued the family's story into 1927 and 1928. Throughout its run, Downton Abbey masterfully intertwined fictional stories with real-world events, giving audiences a vivid glimpse into history. Season 1 began with the Titanic disaster, setting off the chain of events that brought Matthew Crawley into the family's world. The era also saw major movements like Albania's independence and the rise of the suffragette cause, in which Lady Sybil played an active role. The first season concluded with the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand and Britain's entry into World War I. Season 2 shifted the focus to the devastation of the Great War, opening with the Battle of the Somme. Downton itself was transformed into a recovery hospital, while characters like Matthew, William, and Thomas served on the front lines. The war's horrors were captured poignantly, and the season ended with the 1918 armistice and the Spanish influenza pandemic, which took a heavy toll worldwide. Season 3 dealt with the economic hardships that followed, reflecting the real-life struggles of Britain's aristocracy. The Earl of Grantham's poor investments endangered the estate's future, and the broader financial instability of the time was mirrored in the Crawley family's challenges. The season also highlighted milestones like the achievement of women's suffrage and the turbulence of Irish independence. However, it ended tragically with Matthew Crawley's death, coinciding with the birth of his son, George. Season 4 found Lady Mary adjusting to life as a widow, as the Roaring Twenties ushered in progressive cultural changes. The jazz scene added a lively new energy to the storylines, particularly for Lady Rose. Meanwhile, Britain saw major political shifts, and Ireland formally gained independence. From its earliest days, Downton Abbey has blended historical authenticity with compelling character development, cementing its place as a standard-bearer for period dramas. With the third film on the horizon, the saga promises to deliver an emotional farewell that honors Maggie Smith's monumental impact on the series. For those who have loved Downton Abbey since its earliest days, this film will offer one last cherished visit to the grandeur of Highclere Castle, a final glimpse into the lives of the Crawleys, and a touching goodbye to a world that so beautifully blended history with personal drama. Although Downton Abbey 3 will likely wrap up the story in the 1920s, many fans wonder about the possibilities if the timeline continued into the 1930s, a decade of seismic change. The Great Depression, the rise of fascism across Europe, and the looming shadow of another world war would all have affected the Crawley family profoundly. Facing economic hardship and the erosion of the class system, the aristocracy would find it increasingly difficult to maintain its way of life. If the film were to touch upon these events, it could explore how characters, especially the younger generation like Tom Branson, adapt to the shifting political climate. With Britain still recovering from the 1929 Wall Street crash, the Crawleys could face new financial struggles, and the threat posed by Nazi Germany would set a dark tone for the end of the decade. Perhaps the story could even incorporate historical moments like King George VI's 1939 royal visit, or the preparations for the evacuation of children at the onset of World War II, offering a final powerful reminder that history marches on, and that endings are often just new beginnings. Whatever lies ahead, one thing is certain: the legacy of Downton Abbey will endure, much like the magnificent estate at its heart. It's been more than just a series. It's been an experience, a window into a world where change, though inevitable, is met with grace, resilience, and a little bit of that unforgettable Crawley charm. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again for the next journey.